Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about the moon square or opposition Pluto in a natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in a natal chart. They were a little bit concise. Some people may have referred to them as snappy, so what I decided to do was make another series on which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is, um, if you have the moon square or opposite Pluto in a natal chart, there may be difficulty in meeting that need, which is the moon, to attain power and control, which is Pluto. Pluto is in the fourth house as an example. It could simply be power and control in your home life. Pluto is in the fifth house as another example. It could be in terms of attaining power and control in your love life and marriage with children, or something with investments or speculation, your fun, amusement, and enjoyment as some examples. And the thing too is that you may, at times, if you have one of these aspects, you may lack passion and desire, which is Pluto, to attain the emotional needs, which is the moon. If the moon is in Aquarius, as an example, those emotional needs may include friendships, humanitarian endeavors, group-related efforts and activities. It could be doing something with astronomy, astrology, computers, electronics, aviation, meteorology, even rocket science, even if it's I call it model rocket science, model rockets as some kind of hobby, as some examples. If the moon is in Sagittarius is another example, those emotional needs may include, could be humor, doing things with philosophy or religion, higher education, sports, something with the outdoors, publishing, advertising, as some other examples. Now, there also may be difficulty in terms of controlling, which is Pluto, one's emotions, which is the moon. Now, if you have the moon in Pisces, as an example, those emotions can be rather chaotic and it might even seem all-encompassing at times. If the moon is in Gemini, it could be a lot of high-strung, excitable type energy and emotions, and feelings. Emotions may be manifold, to say the least, if Gemini is the moon in that example. Now, another thing too is that if you have the moon square or opposite Pluto in your natal chart, it might be hard to find that mood, which is the moon, to make that major change or transformation, which is Pluto. If Pluto is in your ninth house, as an example, it might be some kind of transformation connected to your philosophy, your belief system. It could be something with religion. It may involve going to a foreign country. As some examples, if Pluto is in the sixth house, is another example. Transformation, may involve something with your work, your employment, maybe people that are prominent in your daily routine. Could also be too, if you have one of these aspects in your natal chart, another way it may manifest is that there may be certain trouble or difficulty, dealing with a crisis, which is Pluto, in one's home, and which is the moon. Now, if Pluto, say is in the second house, it could be something money related. It could be such as a burglary, of one's home, robbery as an example. Maybe the thing about it is, or if there's something, if Pluto, say, is in the fifth house, it could be some crisis related, to a child or a romantic partner, as another example. And it could be something, too, if you have one of these aspects, moon square or opposite Pluto in a natal chart, there might be some difficulty in terms of being emotionally, which is the moon vested, you know, um, dealing with crisis or upheavals in general, which is Pluto, or doing anything that is Pluto related, just in general, whether it could be something with taxes or insurance or support, whether it's moral, emotional, monetary support, dealing with crisis, upheavals, making a major change or transformation. As some examples, it might be, or just simply putting something to an end, because Pluto is about death, but it could be like figurative death, obliterating something. And also, too, there may be, with these aspects, there may be more difficulty in terms of the support, which is Pluto, whether it's to or from the mother and family, which is the moon. If Pluto, going back to the second house as an example, if Pluto is posited in the second house in a natal chart, that would be more like a monetary type support. It could be something with possessions or resources or money. Um, it could be, if Pluto is in the seventh house, it might be some kind of support, tied into a legal matter or helping somebody out with, an open adversary, as some examples. Now, also, too, it might just simply be harder in getting, like if there's somebody that's, trying to get a loan for a home, it may be more difficult with these aspects because Pluto is connected with loans, and Moon naturally is associated with the home, or it could be where it could be hard getting a loan from home or family members as well. And the thing too is, there also may be difficulty with these aspects in terms of using the insight and intuition, which is the moon, to detect manipulation, jealousy, or corruption, which is Pluto. Corruption could involve, a person or people. Um, if Pluto is in the third house, it could be some kind of corruption going on in one's neighborhood. There may be manipulation or jealousy that might involve a sibling, a cousin, or a neighbor, as some examples. And the thing about these aspects too, the moon square or opposite Pluto in a natal chart, in terms of how it could manifest with people, it may also be difficult in terms of trying to nurture or care, which is the moon, for one's intimate connections, which is Pluto. If the moon is in Gemini, as an example, one may want to nurture and care, through mental means, through mental stimulation, disseminating information, maybe doing work that involves manual dexterity for the person, whether it could be auto or refrigeration mechanics, as some examples. If the moon is in the zodiac sign Cancer, the person might show that they care, through cooking, food for the person, doing things, maybe helping out with laundry or plumbing issues, as some other examples. Now, another thing too is that those same people, the intimate connections, may not be compatible with one's unconscious side, which is the moon. Now, let's say if the moon is in Taurus, as an example, that unconscious side may be one that's very, patient, persistent, persevering, stolid and passive, maybe very, calm, and they're in at the same time maybe rather stubborn and obstinate as well. So this is where if you have the square or opposition aspect, there could be issues with that. Now, also, too, people that have these aspects should guard against feelings, which is the moon of, could be jealousy, vengeance, and also issues with emotional manipulation, vengeance and jealousy, of course, is Pluto. there may be more, susceptibility to being manipulated by people that you're close to home with, and even family members as well, if you have one of these aspects in your natal chart. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.